All right. So this is Lenna's Inception. It is a 2D Zelda-like roguelite, released in January of 2020. This run is going to be co-op perfect ending. Perfect ending is one of the three endings present in this game, and it is not exactly a 100% run, but it's pretty close. There's a lot of stuff that we have to do. One of the things that sort of is unique about this game is a lot of it is procedurally generated. Like the entire world map is totally randomized, dungeon layouts are totally randomized, locations of everything. So we're going to do a lot of exploring, a lot of getting lost, a lot of finding our way again. To introduce ourselves, I am Susie. I've been running this game for almost 2 years now. I have the world record in this game.
In
And
this game.
yeah,
Hi, I'm Slosh. I also have run this game for quite a while. I hold second place in this game.
yeah. So, with that, I think we are ready to start. Um, so, for the occasion, we are going to use a special seed that we haven't seen before, but we figured it would be appropriate for the event.
You didn't do the countdown.
Oh yeah, okay. Three, two, one, go. Apologies for that. So we start out in this school. Now something has happened to the school, and there's this chicken, Henrietta, and I'm going to try following her. Um, oh, this is kind of interesting. Okay, so here I've got the bicycle now, and the bicycle is going to allow, it's sort of basically fast travel. It's going to let me travel to any location that I've like been inside, essentially. Um, and so for the first 2 or so minutes, it's just going to be me running, and then Slosh is going to get to join in a little after that, basically after I clear the first half of this first dungeon. So I've found Lance, who's sort of like the chosen hero, and he doesn't know how to use his sword, so I'm going to teach him how to use his sword so he can be the hero.
Yeah, what could go wrong with that?
Absolutely nothing. There is apparently a lot of distance to cover in this dungeon. Wow. Um, Usually the first dungeon is one of the shorter ones, obviously, to get to where I need to go, but that's not always true. So here, I'm gonna say, okay, swing your sword, he does it wrong, and then this thing just fell on him. He's not doing so great right now. Um, so now I have to defeat this skeleton. I got the power of fortitude, and I additionally get Lance's cell phone and sword, so now I'm going to be the hero instead. And right now I'm just cutting these crystals to try to get 20 coins because there is a shop where I can buy a tunic for 20 coins. Tunics essentially... What happened? Okay. Tunics essentially give an effect, and you won't know what you get, what the effect is until you wear it. So it's a fun little surprise. Anyway, going over to the Shadow Temple though to pick up Shadow Lenna. This is where Slosh gets to join in.
Hello.
So an important point about the way co-op works in this game is, because this game is very much based on or divided up into screens. We have to both be moving toward a screen transition in the same direction for the screen to scroll.
This also applies for entering buildings and dungeons.
Yeah. So now we are going to Andres the Bear, the merchant that we had mentioned. Healing Tunic. This Healing Tunic restores... Ooh, that's quite a distance. Healing Tunic restores half a heart every 21 seconds. So we're making our way to Dungeon 2 now. We got the locations of all of the dungeons from Paige the librarian, who we talked to back there. She also asked us to find all of her lost books. Let's go up and around so that we don't have to deal with as much stuff. So that's going to be an important side quest for later, is finding all of the books. Not all of the books, but we need to find 12 out of the 16.
There are also 4 books that are not randomized where they are.
Yeah. So basically we need to find 8 and then pick up the other 4. So now we enter Dungeon 2. It was a little bit of a task to get to, but we got there and we found some books. So it's not a terrible situation to be in. One thing to note about dungeons in this game is even though... Oh, that's not good. Even though the layout and the contents of the rooms are all randomized, procedurally generated and such, for each number dungeon there is a predetermined, or there's a certain set of predetermined shapes that the game can pull from, and it's, I don't remember, I think it's anywhere from 2 to 5 different shapes. Okay, wow. This is very distant that we have to go. So this is an item room. Basically, it's a room where a dungeon item is. Dungeon items are required to progress through the overworld and to fight bosses. They also do other things, like we just picked up the lighter. It lets us shoot a fireball, but it also lets us do a rocket dash type ability. So we're gonna try to do that like as much as possible. Also, what I sort of forgot to mention, because there was so much happening in that item room back there, is, wow, we're getting a lot of books right now. Enemies in item rooms will have twice as much health as usual, and they will also have a special trait. So like those in that one there were exploding periodically. And explosions are the single strongest source of damage in this game, basically. So we have to be pretty careful around them. So now we move into Dungeon 3. We are going to get the ability to lift heavy objects here. You can sort of tell what item you are going to get your item, or what order you're going to get your items in based on the layout of the school that you start in.
And while the dungeon item order is randomized for the most part, the items that you unlock in dungeons 1 and 8 are always the same. Therefore, the dungeon bosses in 1 and 8 are also always the same.
Let's go this way because there's lift stuff here. That's the other thing about overworld routing in this game is, ooh, here's office building. We're gonna go into this office building so we can bike back there later. The thing about overworld routing in this game is, you will always need to use the item that you just got to get to the next dungeon. So for example, there we got the Amulet of Strength, which allows us to lift heavy objects. So we knew that we would have to use that to lift some heavy objects to get into this next dungeon, which is the bank. And we just got dropped into the dungeon in the basement of the bank. That guy there, that's the chairman. He's not our friend.
He's not a nice guy.
So since in this dungeon we got dropped into the middle of it at the start, first we have to find the exit because we can't just bicycle back to the exit because we haven't been there yet. So we just found it here. So now we're going to go looking for the item, which is going to be the fish leather shorts, which will allow us to swim in water. Oh wait, okay. I should have see because of the setup we have to use for playing this game co-op. I don't have game audio, and I should have asked Slosh if there was a certain audio cue in that room back there. Also, these sorts of like combat rooms are where co-op really shines as a speed run because you can clear out enemies so much more quickly when there are multiple people. So the prince has called us on Lance's telephone. He's saying that the bank is attacking the palace and he needs us to save him. So we're going to do just that, hopefully. We need to get to the bridge to take us to the eastern half of the island. Also, the reason why we are sometimes sort of going out of our way to fight enemies in the overworld is that on some screens, when you defeat all the enemies, an item or two will drop. Oh, let's check this out.
We need to see if that's anything good.
Sometimes items just fall like that too. Blast protection, that's pretty nice to have. Basically, it makes us completely immune to damage from explosions. And given how powerful explosions are, you know, that can be nice. So the chairman is running across the bridge. He's like, you know, I'm gonna stop Lance. He's trying to throw money at his problems, which is us, like literally, but it's not working. This guy's Delvin. He's a great guy who everyone loves. He's so nice that he's going to tell us where all of the dungeons for the second half of the game are. So, isn't that right, Slosh?
Sure.
Now we're on the, now we're over here.
Oh, we got a forest dungeon. Forest dungeons are a little bit trickier to navigate, especially when we backtrack to all of the dungeons. They're just very cluttered, and when you come back to backtrack through all the dungeons, usually you can do some pretty interesting things with the Dungeon 8 item. However, forest dungeons don't really allow that because of an interesting quirk of them. Let's go with that.
Yeah,
Not
we'll
say
explain.
too much
We'll
about
explain
that.
in better detail once it's like actually there. Oh yeah, you can pick up these snails, kinda, and they count as having been defeated immediately upon being picked up. So if you need to defeat a snail, just pick it up. One other thing that I think I should probably explain is we're going into these dungeons, just getting the item and then leaving. And there are two reasons for that, and the main one is, since this is perfect ending, we have to do a lot of like side quest stuff in order to get that. But we're still going through all the dungeons because dungeon items generally make exploration a lot easier. Especially the last one. Also, we just got the bow that's going to let us shoot these little target things. This dungeon's actually pretty close.
We probably should have also picked up that bag of money on the screen with Dungeon 5, because at some point we're going to need to...
We have 50.
Oh, we do?
Yeah,
Okay.
we're fine.
We're going to need to purchase a water potion, because on the western side of the island there is a thirsty person that we're going to need to give some water to, because he's very thirsty.
Yeah, and you know, you say water potion, and the game calls it a water potion, but it's just a bottle of water.
Yeah.
Okay, so we just picked up a meteor. Meteors don't really do anything in a speedrun. But basically, that could have been a useful item dropped there, so might as well just stand there and get it immediately. So we picked up the blue key that's going to let us open these blue locked doors. And the item in this dungeon is going to be behind one. Maybe not immediately, but we will at some point need to use the blue key to get into the dungeon's item room. That's the other thing, that those gray snails, they explode whenever they take damage, if they are already in their shell. But that's fine, because we have blast protection, so we're immune to it.
Here we go.
Here we go. So, what is this? Okay, so these enemies here, they're hovering, so basically they... Used to be they would just fly over things, but that caused some borderline soft lock sort of situations, so now they just... there are certain areas they can't go, like you can't push them into pits. Alright, so also... we are making very heavy use, or at least I am, making very heavy use of bomb arrows. Sort of similar to certain classic Zeldas. Basically, it's a bomb and an arrow, and it's very fast, and it detonates immediately upon hitting something. So that's sort of the big appeal of it.
And there are certain enemies that I think could have started showing up already, but can definitely show up here. That
Oh, this is really good news.
can sort of just dodge attacks, but they cannot dodge bomb arrows. If you shoot the wall that they're behind, that is.
Yeah. So now we have the spring, which allows us to jump. We're going to go to the top secret lab over here. And this is going to let us get into Dungeon 8. Basically, we push this block, fall down into the basement. This is one of the very few places in the entire game that is not procedurally generated. There's a specific route to it. There's a skip that I'm taking some tries to do, but it's fine. So now there's sort of a little, like, we sort of split up a little bit here. I come over here to rescue this guy. Oh,
Unless you're on critical health and die to the sneaky little skeleton that is hiding in the ice crystal.
yeah, okay. That's not a big deal because obviously it's co-op, so Slosh can sort of take the lead here. And I'm alive because the screen got scrolled. So we find out that Professor Maxwell here, he got trapped in the basement by his lab assistant, Delvin. So it turns out Delvin is actually not a great guy who everyone loves. I was sort of pulling a fast one on you for the sake of suspenseful storytelling. So that's one of the guaranteed book locations also, is Maxwell's bookshelf.
I never would have guessed that Delvin was a bad guy, given the fact that we have an incentive to spare or kill him.
Can you believe it? So much like Dungeon 4, in Dungeon 8, you start somewhere in the middle of it, so you have to sort of find your way out in addition to finding your way through.
Oh, no.
This is sort of unfortunate arrangement of things right here, but we should be able to make it work. I think probably the play is to try to check that top right corner item, and then if not, then make our way left.
There's also a very good chance that that item would be a key that we would need, or not. It's you have to fight these guys.
So those are those gray crabs that Slosh mentioned.
Yeah, they like dodging every single attack they can.
We
have already found the item room, this is abnormally fast for a
Yeah, we've had great luck with 7 and 8. These gray crabs, because they're exploding by default, we can't bomb arrow them. So
Now we have the glasses.
yeah, the glasses. It lets us clear out these.
Wait, pull up the map again.
There's a row. There's an extra row.
That's what I thought.
The glasses let us clear out glitch blocks, but they also let us do something else, which is kind of fun. Yeah, they let us screen wrap.
I just jumped in the water. Okay.
So basically, the screen wrapping is why we wait so long to start doing like clearing dungeons and doing side quests and stuff, because obviously it lets us move so quickly. So this is the palace. This is the other area that is not procedurally generated. It's the same way every time, and usually it's really hard, really complicated to find your way, but there's a route for it that takes barely over a minute if done perfectly. There's also a free tunic there. It's a frugal tunic, which increases our chances of finding money. We don't really need that, because while we do need money later on, there is a guaranteed source of more than enough. So we're just making our way through. If it's kind of difficult to follow what's happening with the screen wrapping, you know, don't worry about it, because, I mean, that's just sort of how it goes with this game. The movement usually gets pretty pretty intricate with the screen wrapping and everything. So this is one of the side quest characters who we need to find, the old woodcutter. He wants us to help him find a secret. So we've just found a secret. He also gave us his axe, and the axe deals 50% more damage than the sword. And also can't be blocked by enemies that can normally block stuff like that, which is really nice to have on hand. So we're just going to sort of travel around looking for things now, but I think this is probably a pretty good time for donations, if there are any, or other status updates.
Absolutely. Let's see. No new donations to report, but I will let you know that, again, everyone, you can donate towards different bids, and right now, for instance, you can bid to either keep or to kill or spare the chairman. That is an option available. So once you donate, you can have that money applied towards either of those options. So keep that in mind. Also, I want to say as well, a quick little blurb here, that Team Fastest First is about more than just marathons and more than just speed running. It is a welcoming community of furries and the furry friendly, where you can make new friends and get to know people with similar interests. We host community events and showcases throughout the year and are always looking for new ideas for fun. To join our Discord, please use the command !Discord in the chat, and we'd love to have you as a part of the community. Also, again, as a reminder, that the Organization for Autism Research, or OR, has been founded and led by the families of children with autism throughout its 20-year history. They have earned a reputation for excellence for the autism community, as well as charity review organizations. They currently hold a 4-star rating from Charity Navigator and a top-rated rating from Great Nonprofits. For more information, please visit them at www.researchautism.org. Back to you both.
All right, thanks. So basically, we found a few things. We found the traveling merchant, and essentially he will show up in a bunch of different locations. And his side quest involves finding him at each of them. And we were able to buy some water from him, which will be useful in another side quest. Right now, we are looking for the thirsty person, and we are looking, additionally, and perhaps more urgently, for 2 more library books. We technically need 3 still, but we can sort of start progressing that quest a little bit more with only 2. Hey, here's one of them. Beautiful. Okay, so now we just need the thirsty person. We are also...
Oh,
there they are.
There's the thirsty person.
Alright, have your water. We have the office, right?
Yep.
So, in exchange for the water, we got a paperclip, and now we are giving the paperclip to the office worker. She used it to make a really nice pair of glasses. So now we have a pen, so we're going to try to find someone who can make use of that pen. We also... Oh, this is the other thing we were looking for.
The 3 Bears cottage. Goldilocks is harassing the 3 bears, and now we have to catch her.
Yep. So this is the only instance of, like, an actual glitch in this game. So we scrolled the screen, and it spawned 3 Goldilocks. And the game... For completing this quest, the game doesn't count if you have basically watched Goldilocks move through every room. It just counts every time a Goldilocks has progressed by a room. So if you have 3 Goldilocks on screen, when the last one leaves, the quest is over. And it's much faster because usually it's like a long sort of stealth section, like the hide and seek stuff from Oracle of Seasons. So that's pretty nice. And here's another book. So now we just need... Let's go to Paige now. So Paige is going to start following us around. She will attack enemies by throwing books and some other things. Now we have 1 person left to find.
On the left side.
Yeah, on this half of the map. Let's clear out this little square over here. Yeah, let's go up. And then... Good call. I missed that. Okay, let's go back down and see if the snail has any items. Oh, never mind.
Grass does.
Alright, let's go north.
Ooh, whoops.
How could you do this to me?
So yeah, also
Okay,
on very rare occasions, grass will drop items. It's not very common for this to happen, but it...
Wait,
Oh yeah. Oh.
Yeah, okay, so now we go to the bank. So this person is like, what's the name of the 2 guys in the potion shop? They are Potter and Tunley. And now that skeleton there, he wants a forged property deed, and he gave us his briefcase in exchange for it. So now we are going into the bank's vault, and we're going to wrap inside and just make sure all the money is okay, you know?
Yeah, because we gotta donate it all to charity. Oh wait, you still need to get some.
Yeah, we still have like
Money.
200 over here. So now we're going back here. Here's a book. This door doesn't always work correctly in multiplayer for some reason. But that's okay because we can just screen wrap straight to where we were going. It's the casino on the top floor of the bank, which is also the stock exchange. So now I'm depositing 1,000 coins into the bank. And then I'm going to withdraw one less than that. And then I'm going to try to withdraw the last coin, and they're like, no, you can't do that. We think you're committing fraud. So they gave me an IOU, which is going to be an important item later, believe it or not. This game is... It's very, like, unique and charming in terms of, like... A lot of the stuff is very not the kinds of things you would normally expect. I forgot where the traveling... Okay, so he's direct... He's... Oh, he's... Okay, I was thinking, like, directly south of the, This is a weird screen the path was on. I was thinking directly south of the cave. So we talked to the merchant, we gave him the briefcase. He's so happy that he, gave us his shirt. Do we have the bear?
No, we don't.
We don't have the bear.
The bear's the only person we still need.
So let's just keep going this way. Hopefully we'll be able to... Okay, yeah. Okay, so let's do the last traveling merchant location. He's going to give us his special book, which doesn't count as a library book, which is kind of unfortunate, but that's just how it is.
Oh,
Here, so
there's
this is
bear.
This is the naked bear. He's a bear. He wants some clothes, so we gave him the shirt that we got from the traveling merchant. So now we got a claw from him, and so we're going to give it to the zoologist who's a big fan of bears. And she's going to give us her binoculars. And then following that, we are going to go to the strange cave, which is the combat arena, for to clear out another thing. Wait, did we activate the 12 books quest?
Yep.
We did, yeah. Okay.
Yep. So we're gonna need to grab 10 marshmallows out of the strange cave. So we're gonna get 3, and then leave, and then get 3 more, and then leave again, and then actually finish that wave.
Yep.
And we have to go through, what is it, 9 waves of strange cave?
Yep. So it's a 9-wave combat gauntlet. It constantly escalates in quantity and strength of enemies. You'll probably recognize all of them from earlier in the run in various places.
Except for the second to last one, which I don't think we've actually seen at all this siege.
Yeah, that's true. They only show up in some fairly specific locations. Here we are making use of the fact that the axe is, as I said, 50% stronger than the sword. The trade-off is it has a slightly smaller hitbox, but it's something that can sort of be worked around. These snails here, we have to be really careful because they leave a poison trail, like I just stepped in, and basically it's just damage over time.
And you might be wondering why we didn't just pick up the snails and throw them like we were doing in the dungeons, and that is because you have to actually throw them up against a wall for them to be instantly defeated.
Or another snail.
And that would be really time-consuming.
And picking them up is sort of a little too inconsistent if you're not against a wall.
I'm on critical health. I'm sort of
About
just
that.
walking into these guys. Fortunately, we have a fire resistance tunic, so these fireballs that they're breathing aren't actually damaging us.
Yeah. We call those enemies lace robes for obvious reasons. So we got a trophy for being really good at that, and so now Paige is like, alright, let's celebrate finding all these books. So it's a campfire, it's a really cute cutscene, but it's a speedrun, so we're skipping through it. I really think that all of you should see this, though, so play this game yourselves. Okay, so we are ready to start the boss rush. So I'm going to say we need to close the bid war for both bid wars for this run now. So if you could let us know who won, or what option won for both of them, that would be lovely.
Sure. Let me see here what we got. We have. So for Delvin, it looks like there's a $250 donation, I believe, to spare Delvin, and $25 donation, a bid towards killing the chairman.
Or killing Chairman or Delvin?
The chairman. Kill chairman.
Kill Chairman, spare Delvin.
Spare Delvin. Yes, that is correct.
Okay.
Alright,
So-
so we still need to look for a specific item while we're backtracking here, because we will be able to use that on the chairman to just pretty much completely skip that fight. So we're going to head back to Dungeon 4 next, because from Dungeons 4 onward, every dungeon will have a secret room that will have a special item in it. And Dungeon 4, we have a rather good idea of where it is because of the
4,
layout.
5, and 8.
Yes.
Okay,
That
that's
is
fine.
not the item that we are looking for.
Go over like one more, and then down.
And here's the boss.
Here's the boss. So also, I totally like glossed over the first boss that we fought because, you know, asking about the bid wars. But the way this goes is we have to fight each of these dungeon bosses, and then when they have 1 hit point left, we have to use the power of compassion to spare them. And we're allowed to do this because of all the various items we picked up from the side quests. We're currently fighting Sandolphin, who is the longest dungeon boss in the game. This fight takes about almost 2 minutes, I think. Because of this second phase, basically bosses in Dungeons 4 onward have multiple phases, and they vary in length. Some of them are extremely short, and some of them... That was the first quarter of Phase 2. So basically we're just swimming around dodging. That sort of situation. Looks like I'm doing pretty okay on health. One thing is I'm keeping the glasses active during most boss fights. Because it sort of changes how long certain animations take. And some of the bosses, the fights are just like strictly faster to do it like that. So not all of them, and we're not 100% sure which ones are which. Now we got a phone call from Prince Daniel saying use the power of compassion to be nice to everyone. We're going to use the glasses here to screen wrap out of the bank very quickly, instead of going all the way around to get to the ladder. Let's go to 2.
Oh yeah, there's that book on Dungeon on the screen with Dungeon 3.
So now we are to the boss of Dungeon 2, Santaquil, and
The giver of unwanted gifts.
I'm the only person in the community who understands this strat, so I'm going to do it.
While on critical health, too.
Yeah, I'm about to die. But I'm not actually because I know what I'm doing. Also, I don't think I'm actually the only person who understands how to do that strat, but I'm the only person who like does it in runs. Basically, the alternate version is to dash back and forth over Santaquil repeatedly with the lighter. And that is much slower. So here's a Draniel. I'm going to take advantage of a weird quirk that bombs have. If I drop a bomb on the ground and then pick it back up, it counts as an object that has been lifted. So I can use it to hit Hadraniel to skip one of his attacks. basically immediately. This is a very short boss because, only one phase.
Our two one-phase bosses that were randomized to this run are actually two of the quickest two-phase bosses as well, which is a little bit unfortunate, but not that big a deal.
Okay, so we have. Wait, we should leave and do.
We have like 0 information on Dungeon 7 for the secret room, so we're gonna go and do Dungeon 8. Dungeon 8 has another one of the longest bosses in the game. However, this one is this one is always in Dungeon 8, so this boss always has 2 phases.
Yeah. So whereas with Sandolphin, you're sort of losing time if you see her late. With this boss,
It's the boo.
with this boss, oh, let's go back. With this boss, you're not actually losing time because you're always going to have to do the long version of the fight. Like there is no short version of this fight in story mode. In this game also has like challenge modes where you just play dungeons, and there are usually some like restrictions in place.
Did we get a blast protection tunic?
I don't know. I was thinking of putting healing back on though. I'll put healing on after this attack. So basically, this is Hadasaya. Of all the bosses, she has the most like different kinds of attacks. Every single one of them though is like, once you know how it works, you can dodge it pretty easily. So it's sort of almost kind of like real life magicians,
What?
Oh, like it's it's this breathtaking illusion, and wow, how is this happening? But then once you know it,
Is that what you meant?
Yes, that's what I meant.
Anyway, unlike other dungeon bosses, Hadasaya only takes 2 hits to defeat her first phase.
I totally spaced out and forgot that this attack was going to happen.
Yeah, so did I.
We are gaming right now.
Yes, indeed. And now we're going to...
Get on this side.
No. We're going to get thrown against this wall as he drops an army of bats on our head. And now we need to wait for her to get done screaming again, and then use the power of compassion, and that is a really long fight.
And we just gave her a log. Who doesn't like a nice log?
And now we need to go to Dungeon 5 next.
As the people like to say. Delicious.
Oh, this is the forest.
Yeah, so let's get to the top row. And then... So it's not here.
Okay.
You know what?
Well.
No, let's fight these guys in case it's blue key.
That is a good point. So, as I mentioned earlier when we were in this dungeon, forest dungeons suck for finding the...
Here we go.
Yeah, I know. I thought lighter was still on. That's the item we need. The old revolver. One shot is all you get, but it will kill any enemy, no matter if it's a boss or just one of the little skeleton dudes, in that one shot. Also, this is Krabatin. He's another really long 2-phase fight. He's really quick, 1 phase, really long second. And
Yeah.
the second phase is also, in my opinion, one of the hardest fights in the game.
Yeah, also, super easy first phase, second phase is, as Slosh said, arguably the hardest of the main dungeon bosses. You'll see why when it happens. Or maybe not, but I'll explain why at least.
I could also take a moment here to read off a few donations, if that's okay.
Yeah, that would be great.
Okay. So we did have a $25 donation that came in from Anonymous. Thank you so much. I believe that actually went towards the bid to kill the chairman. So thank you very much for that. DVO also donated $50 and said here, every time I see Lenna's Inception, I wonder why I haven't gotten around to playing it yet. Great game, great event, great cause. Thank you so much, DVO. Always so generous. Thank you very much for that donation. And lastly, from Anonymous, actually, which is Looking Toad's grandpa, a $50 donation saying thank you all for your hard work for autism research. Thank you all so much for your donations. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you so much to everyone who's donating and viewing and everyone involved in this event in any way.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, oh no.
You guessed wrong.
Oh yeah, it's Tentaluchus. I love this guy. Have you ever seen a cooler squid?
So, we're gonna try and do something here. Alright, move back.
Yeah, I think that's
I
right.
think we're both lined up. So, if you're lined up perfectly centered with... If you're lined up perfectly centered with the center stripe on Lenna's hair and the center stripe on Tentaluchus, then most of the time, you just not bounce back and forth and waste like 20 seconds. Like
Yeah, that thing he did where he just like charged forward real quickly. Usually he bounces all around the room like a DVD screensaver.
And it's really slow. And sometimes you can be perfectly lined up and he'll just decide to go into DVD mode anyway.
We don't know why this happens. It feels more common in forest dungeons, but I'm not 100% confident in that statement.
Yeah. The second phase, he's a UFO now. He's throwing fireballs at us that after a while turn into bombs that we can pick up. After a while, he's going to try and use his tractor beam to pick us up. And then that's when we can use the power of compassion and say that we don't have to fight like this.
And we just gave him a patent.
Yeah.
He is an inventor. So, oh, we've saved the best boss for last. Purely coincidentally, actually. But
We have like zero information also.
Any-
Because we just sort of skipped.
any fans of cats in here, you will enjoy the adorable cat who's coming up. Let's go down here. I guess we're going down here again.
Is this arms down or arms up?
Arms down. Okay, so I sort of called that wrong. That's fine. Because she's going to be right here.
Yep. It's Cat Seal.
Cat Seal,
The murder tabby.
Just a massive, adorable cat with a monitor on her head. So she's gonna do this like jump attack. I jump to avoid the shockwave, jump to dodge her launching the screen at me. Dodging the tail swipe attack. We need to do this a few times.
I got tipped over. I didn't jump fast enough. Yeah, I just realized that I never actually finished explaining why finding the secret room in forest dungeons is.
Wait a moment. Hold on. If we have any gamers in the chat, you might recognize the directions that Cat Seal is trying to tell us to press the thing.
on your side of the room.
Also, the reason why we wanted to draw Cat Seal over to the right side of the room is normally when you spare a boss, the item will drop wherever they were, but if they are touching the right or bottom wall of the room, then it will drop right in the center. So that's all the items.
Yep. That means we can now go to the palace.
While we are fighting Edgar and Alan, could you explain the whole forest dungeon thing?
Yeah, so You all probably noticed during every other dungeon except for that. Well, we did do it a little bit in the forest dungeon, but we were screen wrapping through voids. There are no voids in forest dungeons. They are just covered in trees, and the trees have collision, and you cannot walk through the trees. So that's why it's really, really tough to navigate forest dungeons on the backpack. You need to put the gun on.
I will as soon as we reflect the orb. So this is the chairman. He's a bad guy. No, move back.
No, doing the thing.
He's a bad guy. It's actually canon, based on the dialogue in this game, that he does not want to donate to charity, so don't be like him.
You need to get the power of compassion back on because we gotta spare this next fella.
Yeah, I'm going to once we no longer need bomb arrows for defense.
Alright.
So yeah, here's Delvin. He's going to become very large and very villainous. We have to spare him, so interestingly, sparing him takes obviously considerably longer than killing him with the revolver. However, if you don't use the revolver, sparing him is actually faster than killing him. So here he's trying to use an attack, and I just sort of canceled it out by hitting him with a bomb arrow. But he's still trying to use it, so we can both stand here and poke him with the sword. He takes a lot of hits to defeat.
He's also a 4-phase fight.
Yeah, we're already onto the second phase. He's going to try to attack one of us with his scythe. Okay, me, that's good because I'm here. It's easier to dodge if I'm close up. That ring is all like fireballs. I'm able to stand in it, not take any damage because I have fire resistance. Do you need a potion?
Yeah, I could use a potion.
Okay, I will...
I need your strongest potions ASAP.
You can't handle my strongest potions, but you can have this healing potion while I take care of the orb.
Ah, thank you. I'm feeling healthier already.
So he's basically dashing all around. We need to sort of move around him during this attack, so if you could come down to the bottom side now, thank you. Because he's essentially going to try to leave, so we're just going to leave before he can.
Put power of compassion on.
No, there's one more use of bomb arrows.
Uh-huh.
So he's attacking us with our UI now, and that's a fire effect. So because we have fire resistance, we are immune to that. There is a lot happening right now, and if you think it's a lot of things happening and chaotic, that's... Oh, just wait until...
Then the next fight.
Wait, did you spare him?
Yeah, I did.
Okay. I didn't even see the thing pop up. Wow, okay. So we spared him, he left. So we're going to blow the dust out of the game cartridge to get rid of the glitch that Delvin caused. But Tentaluchus and Azraflail showed up and they're like, no, don't do that. So now we've accessed the debug menu, and we're going to Dungeon 9, and we're just going to screen wrap up here. Yeah, if you thought there was like strange occurrences before, here we go.
Keep the power of compassion on that.
It's just starting to get like that now. So,
True final boss, 8 fridge.
Afridge / Archangel Lenna / a whole lot of other people. Basically, these squares are closing in on us, and the room that we can traverse is shrinking. So we can, if we hit these squares, they will reverse direction approximately. So let's do that. Here's the village elder from earlier. He is now alive and well and shooting fireballs at us.
Oh, I pressed the power of compassion too early.
But, oh, okay, we have the items equipped in a very different order from what I'm used to. Apologies for that.
We did, however, spare the elf. And now we're going to try and spare Lance.
Yeah, so now Lance is
Lance is alive again. However, just sometimes decides that he's not gonna be doing so hot like that.
Okay.
So yeah, Susie stopped hitting him with the axe like 3 hits before he actually died. So I have a healing potion. Which there's the bomb. So now the UI is attacking us again.
And I'm Lance now.
Yeah, see, Lance is doing just fine.
Yeah. So now we just have to take as much damage as we can as quickly as possible. So now we're both dead. And time is coming up right now when we touch the refrigerator. And time. Yeah, it was hard to keep everything straight while commentating, but I think we played it well.
Yeah.
Also, that was world record in this category on the technicality that basically the method we used of choosing a seed had no co-op perfect ending runs in it yet. And now it's a happy ending. Tentaluchus is there, and he's friends with everyone. He looks like an egg when viewed from behind.
And also, Delvin is in a prison cell.
Poor Delvin.
Well,
I mean, he is a villain, but
yeah, he tried.
So wait, there are 2 Shadow Lennas.
Yeah, so that's a glitch that happens in co-op.
Are we sure that's a glitch?
Yeah, because regular Lenna is standing under the left Shadow Lenna. I don't know why the left Shadow Lenna is there. That's just sort of a thing that happens.
Okay.
Sometimes.
Well, anyway,
I don't know why.
Anyway, that is Lenna's Inception, perfect ending, co-op.
Kingdom of Fastest Birds.
Shoutouts to Bitten Studio, Tom, Jay, Joel, for making this game and also being so supportive of the speedrunning community.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So many different features of this game is were sort of optimized with based on feedback from the speedrunning community. Also, thanks to Fastest Spurs for having us here. It's been a great time.
Yeah, huge shout outs to Fastest Spurs for having us, and also for just putting on this phenomenal event. Been a really great weekend so far.
Yeah. I think that's all for us. So
Great job, the both of you, really. That was really fun to watch. I've never seen this game, like I mentioned before, and got really crazy at the end there with all the graphics. Like, that was insane, you know?
Yeah.
That was really cool. And one thing that I kept mentioning too in the chat was that it's really cool. This game actually has like an alternate like 8-bit mode that you can swap to whenever you want to, right? On the fly?
I don't know if it's on the fly, but it's at least on the start screen. You can choose. So every time you open the game, you can change back and forth. And each visual style has a separate soundtrack.
Yes, that's really awesome. I saw that as well. I love that.
Yeah.
Really nice touch. I mean, you said there were what, 2 people who worked on this game? That's it?
So 3, and one of them just did the soundtrack.
Wow.
So yeah, everything else was done by 2 people.
You can tell a lot of love went into this game, honestly.
Yeah,
Really
it was
cool.
in development for like 8 years.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Makes sense. There's a lot going on.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much, both of you, really. I hope you had a wonderful time.
Yeah, I enjoyed it.
Yeah, it was a
It's
blast.
the first time that category's ever been in a marathon.
Yeah.
It's so cool. And so, was that an actual world record that you guys
It was on the technicality that basically there are 2 different ways you can choose a seed for this kind of run. One is just use whatever the game gives you, or 2 is to choose a seed that you haven't played before and put it in. And we did that, and no one had done a co-op run that way before.
Oh, interesting.
If we had done it with a randomly generated seed, it still would have been a very good run.
It would have been within, I believe, 2.5 minutes of world record.
Wow. Incredible. That's fantastic. Well, great job.
Thanks.
Thank you.